The city never seemed darker than that rainy Thursday afternoon when Michael Harrington, the CEO of a thriving tech company, walked out of his sleek glass office building and noticed something unusual by the side of the sidewalk. Huddled under a tattered blanket, with soaked clothes plastered to her tiny frame, was a girl no older than 12. What caught his attention wasn't just her plight but the fact that she was kneeling over a notebook, scribbling furiously with a stub of pencil, her eyes lit with determination despite the storm around her. He paused, heart pounding, not out of pity, but because there was something undeniably familiar in the intensity of her focus. Before I continue, if you believe in kindness and second chances, please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to this channel. Michael's life had always been a whirlwind of board meetings, acquisitions, and endless flights. Yet, nothing in his years of success had prepared him for the quiet bravery he saw in that girl. Later, he discovered her name was Grace, a homeless child who had been surviving day by day in the harsh streets of Chicago. But even more astonishing was that she had been secretly tutoring his daughter, Clara, in math and reading for the past few months. Clara, a shy and brilliant girl, had struggled in school, and her teachers had warned Michael that she needed extra guidance. Unknown to him, Grace had been the invisible force helping his daughter flourish. As Michael watched from a distance, he saw Grace counting numbers on her fingers, her breath forming little clouds in the cold air. There was no luxury for her, no warm house, no meals prepared on time. She had learned from scraps of books discarded at libraries, from lessons overheard in classrooms, and from sheer grit and intelligence. Michael felt a sharp pang in his chest. How had someone like Grace survived unnoticed in a city so crowded, and how had she devoted her every free moment to his child without ever asking for recognition or reward? The first time Michael approached Grace, he was careful not to startle her. The conversation was hesitant, awkward, and yet profoundly human. He learned about her parents, long gone, about shelters that were always full, about nights spent under bridges and in alleys. She spoke not with bitterness but with a quiet acceptance, a resilience that made Michael's heart ache. She wasn't just surviving, she was living with purpose, a purpose tied to helping Clara grow. It struck him that while he had everything material, Grace had given his daughter something far more valuable than money or toys: love, attention, and guidance from a soul that understood struggle intimately. Over the next few weeks, Michael's mind would not rest. He couldn't shake the thought of Grace sitting outside in the cold, of her determination and sacrifice. He remembered the lonely childhood he had endured, the nights he had walked home with an empty stomach, and realized the profound difference a helping hand could have made. Finally, he made a decision that shocked everyone in his circle. He invited Grace and her caseworker to the company headquarters, not for a meeting or an interview, but to offer her a scholarship for full schooling, a small apartment nearby, and, more importantly, a future she had never dared to imagine. The day Grace walked into the sleek lobby of Harrington Enterprises, her eyes wide with disbelief, was a moment Michael would never forget. She wore a threadbare coat, her hair tangled from the wind, yet she held herself with the quiet dignity of someone who had fought battles most adults could not endure. The staff watched in silence, some tearing up, some whispering, as Michael personally handed her a folder with everything she needed to start a new chapter. In that instant, the invisible lines between privilege and struggle, between CEO and street child, dissolved into a simple human truth: compassion changes lives. Michael also ensured that Clara was involved every step of the way. He wanted his daughter to understand the power of gratitude, empathy, and recognizing the silent heroes around her. The bond between the girls grew, transforming Clara's life and deepening Grace's belief in herself. Over time, Grace flourished academically, excelling in subjects she once had only dreamed of mastering. And Michael, once a man defined by his empire and wealth, found his world enriched not by profits, but by witnessing courage, perseverance, and the quiet heroism of a young girl who had refused to give up. This story became a ripple in the city, a testament to the incredible impact one act of kindness can have. Michael's colleagues, neighbors, and even strangers on social media were inspired by the courage of a girl who had tutored someone else while facing unimaginable hardships herself. Grace's journey reminds us that heroism is often hidden in plain sight, that the most extraordinary people are sometimes those whom society overlooks. If this story touched your heart, please engage with the video, like, share, and comment to honor Grace's journey and the power of human kindness. And before you go, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Who in your life reminds you of Grace, quietly changing the world with courage and selflessness? Michael Harrington's choice to lift Grace out of homelessness was more than charity, it was a lesson in humility, empathy, and the transformative power of seeing potential where others see only despair. Today, Grace walks confidently in schools and libraries, her notebook full of dreams, and Clara has a friend who taught her that love and support can come from the most unexpected places. The streets that once echoed with hardship now whisper a story of hope, resilience, and the unshakable belief that every child deserves a chance. And for Michael, the greatest returns on his investments have never been financial, they have been the smiles, the successes, and the unspoken gratitude of a child whose life he helped change forever.